I'm Claire from Created the Otta Way. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me. This is my weekly craft along video. We are making something a little bit wow today. It is a triple side step card. This is it. Triple because it's got 3 steps on it, and I'm going to talk you through step by step how to do it. What do you need? So I haven't added a sentiment to mine yet because I'm not sure. I don't know whether I want it on here or on here. What embellishments I've got some of those gold butterflies that are metal charms, so I'm going to put those on somewhere, but I'm really not sure. And the more I procrastinate, that's what it's called, isn't it, when you can't decide in the crafting world, the more I don't get around to filming this tutorial. So I used mixed media florals from Stampin' Up. It's 12 by 12 sheets, so it comes in these sort of colours. That's all I've got left because it's such beautiful papers. Double-sided as always for Stampin' Up. I've used a very small bit. You could probably get away with, you can get away with using a 6 by 6 sheet of paper. You don't have to chop into your 12 by 12. And actually you could do it in scraps. I think this time I'm going to do just these 3 panels in the designer series paper and leave this one for the sentiment, and then that stops me taking too much time before I need to send it out. I've layered it with a coloured card. You could just put one layer of paper. You don't need to do it. I think it stands out. It sort of frames each picture, doesn't it, and makes it its own little panel. What else do I need to tell you? I think that might be it. You're going to need a pencil and a scoring tool or an embossing tool, something like that to do your scoring. It's a little bit tricky, I'm not going to lie. It's not tricky, you just have to do it slowly, not rush this, because obviously there's score lines and cut lines, but I will talk you through it step by step. If you want to stay in touch with me, this is where you find me. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, also on Pinterest. But yeah, if you have any comments about the video, please drop them underneath the videos. It's lovely to connect with other crafters and find out what you think and all sorts of things. If you actually make something of mine, just send me a picture. I love to see, really, honestly, I love to see all your versions. It's really inspiring for me as well. So, shall I stop talking? Lots of talking. Let's get on with the make. This is what you need. It's in, I'm going to do it in centimetres today, but inches is underneath, so you can screenshot that. What do you need? You need a piece of base card, so your background cards and some designer series paper, and that's about it really. Shall we craft together? Okay, so move all these bits out of the way. I've got a Stampin' Up trimmer because it cuts and scores at the same time. I've also got a rubber because I need a rubber. I've got a pencil because I'm going to need a pencil, and I've got my take my pick tool. Have I though? Because if I brought the wrong end through. Oh, I'm going to use my old embossing tool. So I've got this, it's got like the ball end at either end, and I'm going to use that with this card today as well. But don't worry, I'll talk you through step by step. So the first thing you need is base card, so your background card. So this piece, okay, and I'm going to use white because it will show up better for you on the camera, and it needs to be 15 centimetres by 21. Now I'm sure I've already done this, but I'm just going to check. 15 centimetres. Let's pull that arm out. By 21. Under there, my pencil. By 21. So the first thing we're going to do is put the shorter end at the top, and we're actually going to draw some faint pencil lines coming down, okay? So you don't want to press too hard because you want to be able to rub them out. I've done this without the pencil lines, but it's really hard for you to see on camera what I'm going on about. So I'm going to do it with pencil lines so that you see. So you want 6 centimetres. So place your card at the 6 centimetres piece. Now you don't want to cut or score, you're taking them around and you're using the cutting line with your pencil, okay? So 6 centimetres, and I'm just doing a faint line, okay? Let's see if that works. Can you see that? So just a faint line through it, and then you do another one at 10.5. Now my pencil's quite tricky to push into the cutting line, so I'm not worried too much that it doesn't go to the top and the bottom, because I don't need it to. So I'm stretching it a little bit just to get my pencil in. And again, I'm just doing a faint line. So I've got one at 6 centimetres and one at 10.5. Okay. So now I'm going to turn my paper round. So the longest piece is at the top, and this time I'm going to use my scoring tool. Okay, so I've got the smaller head on mine, and that's what I'm going to use. So there's lots of lines to do on that. If you think of your card as in panels, so this is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. So when I talk about making a score line in the first row, I mean this one. The second row is this one, and the third row is this one, and you're using your pencil lines as your guide. So the first thing we're going to do is put it at 4 centimetres. So your card is put at 4 centimetres. You put your runner down, and again this time you're going to use your embossing tool, and I'm going to go to the line, so ignore the first row. But where it goes into the second row, I am embossing, so doing a score line from that line there across the 2 rows. Okay, just like that. So if I hold that up, hopefully you can see there's a score line from there to there. Okay, so that was across the 2 rows at 4 centimetres. Now I'm going to move it to 5.5. Okay, so 5.5, put that back down, and this time I'm just doing a score line on the second row. Okay, so I'm finding the running line, and I'm just doing it at 5.5, just on the second row, just on this one. Then I'm moving it to 6.5, and this time I'm just doing it on the third row. So just across the third row. I know it feels like you can't breathe, isn't it? Trying to concentrate. So we've done 3. Now we're going to go to 10.5. You're doing so well. I just know you are. You're going to go back to the first row, and you're just doing it on the first row. Okay. So just on that first row there. 2 more to do, we're nearly there. 12 centimetres. So 12 centimetres, we're just doing it on the second row. And then last one, 13 centimetres on the third row. Come on, you can do it. And that's it. Okay. So you should have some score lines on there. Okay, I'm hoping you can see that, and I'll talk you through them. So the first one that we did was from here, from this second row, across the 2 bottom rows, and that was at 4 centimetres. Then we did the next one at 5.5 centimetres, and that was just the middle row. Then we did it at 6.5, and that was this row down the bottom. Then we did it at 10.5, and that was on the first row. Then we did it at 12 centimetres, which was on the middle row, and then 13 centimetres on the last row. Okay, so now I know I don't need my pencil lines anymore. I can rub them out. So I'm just going to rub them out so they're not on there anymore. Goodness me, what's that? always something happens, isn't it? The postman comes to the door, the cat wants letting out. Always like. The alarm on your phone goes off. I'm having to set alarms all the time so I can remember things. It's age, obviously. So we've got no lines, but we've still got our score lines. Now what we need to do is do a couple of cuts. So we've got the shorter end at the top, and what we're going to do is cut from this line here to this bottom line here. So nothing in the panel, just down this piece here. Okay, so you know it's at 6 centimeters, so you put it in, you push this down. Oh, let's get that score out the way, and bring your cutting blade. Okay, so the cutting blade has got a little line on the side on the Stampin' Up! Scorer, so that little line shows you where your paper cutter, the blade, is. So you want to line that up with the score line. Okay, and then press down and then pull down on it. You can feel it cutting to the line that you need it to go to. So I can see that I've got a cut from there to there. I just rub out those pencil dots that were just a guide for me, and you can see now I've got a cut line. Okay, so you're going to do the same on here. So you're going to go from this bit here across there to there. Okay, and that is at 10.5. You already know that, you've just rubbed out the pencil lines. So I'm going to do the same there. Okay, just check that, rub it out. Okay, and that is it. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, not so difficult. Let me just bring that in. So what do we do now? We've got to turn that into our step card. So what you're going to do is very carefully press down on that bit, press down on the next bit, and press down on that bit. You can see your card already wants to go. Okay, I'm just going to cut up a little bit because I don't think I've reached quite at the point of my line. And then here you're going to do the opposite direction. Okay, and then back. So depending on how thick your card is, it resists a bit to start with. And then when you've done those, you just give it a little bit of a help and you just push it over, bring that over to there. Make sure your bottom of your card is lined up, just like that. And then get your bone folder and just help the card a bit. Just show it who's boss and just press down on those lines, all of those crease lines. Okay, just like that. And that is your triple side step card. Ta-da! See? Not as difficult as it looks. Isn't that the way with all of the cards? When you first see them, you're like, oh my goodness, I'd love to be able to do that. Well, you can. So all I need to do now is decorate it. Now I've got a couple of choices. I really like this really vibrant paper. So I'm thinking I'd like to use that across the top, but I'm really in love with this paper as well. So I really don't know which one to choose. I think I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so I've just got a scrap of this left over. I've already cheated a bit and I've already done the background panels for here. So I'm going to talk you through the sizes of those. So I've got this piece that's going to go across here. Okay, and the size for that is 3.5 centimetres. That doesn't look quite right, does it? Let's have a look. 3.5 by 14. This is a problem with trying to be prepared. No, it's definitely 14. Okay, so to find that size, what I've done is, this is 4 centimetres wide, so I've gone down 1/2 centimetre. Okay, so that's going to go on there, just like so. And then I've got these other pieces here. I've got one piece here, which is 6.5 by 5.5. And then I've got 2 the same, one for there. That's definitely too long, isn't it? Look at that. I need to trim that down. And they need to be 6 by 4, okay? And then I'm going to go down another 1/2 centimetre and put those on the top. So let's decorate those. So bring my paper trimmer back in. And this time on the green, so this needs to be 3.5 by 14.5. Yeah, I didn't do it, did I? Did I do 3.5? I did do 3.5, so that's slightly too small, but rather than you having to wait, I'm going to use that. So it should be 3.5 by 14.5 centimetres. So my long piece should be 14, but I'm going to do it 13.5. And it needs to be by, oh, I'm not doing this on the bottom, am I? I'm going to do a white piece. I'm going to do a white piece on the bottom. So that will be, so should be 14 centimetres, which it is, but I need to chop it down a bit because my green is slightly bigger. So I'm going to chop it down to 13.5. All those measurements, how confusing. Let me start again. So your panel across the bottom of your card is 3.5 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. And then what I'm going to do this time is layer it with white card, whereas on my other one I did it with a pattern paper. I'm just going to use some glue and I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. And then I can decide whether I want my sentiments stamped on or whether I want to do a die cut sentiment, which I'm quite partial to because I think they stand out really well. So I've just done 1/2 centimetre smaller. Oh, that's moved. I'm using Tombow glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle room. And I've used some DSP this time as my framing paper, whereas on the previous card I used some coloured card. But I really liked the colour of this green. So that's going to go just across there, like so. So that's my bottom. And then I've got this piece, which is 6.5 by 5.5. So I need a piece of designer series paper that is 6, yep, by 5. 6 by 5. That's going to go straight on there. Okay, I am going to do colour around the paper because it's got a white core and it's going on a dark paper. It's going on the green paper. So I'm just going to get rid of that white line. It really does make a difference to your cards. If you've seen any of my tutorials before, you'll know that I do it quite a lot. Just takes them up a little level without too much effort. So this is going to go across on here. So that's my first one. Stick that on in a minute. And then I've got 2 panels that are 6 by 4. So I'm just going to cut those because they were too big. So 6 by 4. Chop this one 6 by 4, which means the paper needs to be 5.5 by 3.5. So let's do this. 3.5. Make sure that your paper is the right way round as well. So 3.5 by 5.5. 1, 3.5 by 5.5. Oh, what is it going to look like? And again, I'm going to do the same with the green pen. So I'm just rubbing the fatter end along my Stampin' Right marker, just along the edge, and just take away that white core. I'll do that on this one as well. It's very quick to do. And you don't have to have the matching colour. I haven't in this case, but if you've got a similar colour, that will help. So if you've only got a few Stampin' Right markers, you could, as long as it's a green, you could use a green if that's the colour you needed. Or even just a darker colour would help. You just need to get rid of that white line because it looks quite harsh sometimes on the card. There you go, top tip. Okay, so that's that one. So let's move those off of there and bring my card back in so you can see what I'm doing. Oh. So this one obviously is going to go there. So let's put that straight on with some Tombow glue. Just there, like so. And then it doesn't matter which way round I do these, except for me. So I think because the paper carries on, I'm going to put that one next, because I've done it off of the same panel of paper. It's a scrap, but it was a bigger scrap that I've cut down. So that's going to go in there, just like so. And then this one is the last one. Just to go on here. And then we can have a ta-da moment. Just like so. Oh, that looks really nice actually with the white across the bottom. I quite like that. Okay, so I'm going to do a nice embellishment there and a sentiment across the bottom, and that is our ta-da moment. Oh, ta-da! Which one do you like best? Do you like the one with the floral DSP going across the bottom, or do you prefer the plain white? Oh, I'm not really sure. So if I just can show you the inside. So when the card's flat, you can see there's like a little ledge here. And that's how the triple panel or the triple side step works, that you can't actually see that ledge, it's tucked in, but that's why it works and is able to fold flat. But yeah, we are done. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my fellow crafters Jane and Penny for the idea and the resizing. Lots of love to you all, and happy crafting. See you soon.